Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Hello viewers, welcome once again to my channel. For those of you that are new, you are most welcome. Those of you that are existing subscribers, you are also most welcome. So as you can see, we've come to our starting point, which is the Halifax railway station, and today we're going to make a journey to an area called Ovenden and to a particular place which used to house a factory that a viewer's great aunt used to work on, and indeed my dad, who is no longer with us, used to work, and as a student I spent some time working there as well. So it should take us about 10 minutes, I think, and obviously it's a residential area, and we will see what we can film along the way. Okay, so the view once again that you see in the background is the Beacon Hills, and I thought I'd come to this end today, or this part of the railway station. The main line is down there, of course. Okay, this way is Leeds and Bradford, and the opposite way, if I could point it, which is that way, would be Manchester. Okay, so we're going to go into the car, turn right, and then I will point out the landmarks. So we're coming out of the railway station now, viewers, and we're going to do a right. Straight ahead, as I've pointed out previously, is Horton Street, and that of course leads to quite a number of the areas of town. To the left of us, if you remember, is India Buildings. To the right of us, it's called Imperial Hotel. It's had a few names. In my time it used to be called Railway. Okay, familiar landmarks hopefully. The Industrial Museum. Ahead of us, of course, the wool shops. And behind, that you can see there, of course, is the Peace Hall. This road, of course, is called Winding Road. We're approaching is called Goal Lane. That, you may recall from my previous videos, has a very, very long history, in that there used to be a debtor's jail here. Goal, of course, is the old word for jail. Rather a lot of traffic for a Sunday, unfortunately. To the left of us is the bus station. So if you remember, this used to be a Sunday school in Victorian times, and they kept the facade. And in my time it was a cash and carry, as I've mentioned in the previous videos. But this is our bus station in a rather demolished state. Hopefully it will be built in 6 months or so. In the background you can see the town hall, and of course the rest of town is there. So we're going to do a left here. If we were to turn right, that of course would be where we've been previously, which is Booth Town. And at the bottom of Booth Town, of course, we have Lidl, which has also been our focal point. So we're turning left at Broad Street Plaza, and we're going to be making our way towards Orange Street Roundabout, and then follow the signs for Ovenden. And no, I won't say the street, I will leave it as a surprise for Emily. So Emily has emailed telling me that her great grandma used to work at a factory which at that time used to be called Meredith and Drew, and later became, well, it had various names, but when it eventually closed down it was called United Biscuits. So I was sort of quite pleased that someone remembered that, because my dear late father worked there as well, and in my student days I spent a few summers working in the summer holidays as well. So we've turned right here. This road actually is the A629, and obviously with the building of the carriageway that name changed somewhat. Okay, so if you recall, that way is where we've been previously. Other parts of Halifax, which is King Cross, and then other villages, and then into Lancashire. So we're going towards the start of the carriageway. As you can see, there's the 629 sign. And this road is also known as Ovenden Way. Sorry, it's called Burdock Way, and where we are going is called Ovenden Way. To the right you can see Dean Clough. So Dean Clough, of course, stretched on that side, and also when we get past this sign on this side, where you can see the B&Q, and right to the end used to be what's known as sheds, which were basically storage areas. The hills that you see over there, again joined to Beacon Hill, but that is the Queensbury area. So as I say, where we are heading is called Ovenden Way, so we need to go to the top of that and then into Ovenden, and the place that we are going to visit is on Club Lane. So Ovenden starts from here, and the area, we are going to do a left here. And find somewhere to park so that I can show you the road in more detail and describe the area. I've just come out of the car, viewers, to show you the journey that we've made. So on that side is, of course, the town that we've made, and if we were to carry on further this way, it would take us to other parts, starting with Ovenden and then Illingworth, I think, and to the right I think is Homefield. And I guess I should mention our good friend Richard Nellis once again, who's a regular contributor. So hello to Richard. In the background, as I say, is the Queensbury area. So this, of course, is Ovenden Way, and we are going to go to the top. And I think, Emily, your great grandma lived in one of these houses here. Okay, so the area to the left of us is called Mount Tabor, and that also has a number of historical churches and buildings. So we are going to make our way to the top of this road. So we're back on Ovenden Way, viewers. So as you can see, these are fairly new houses, or certainly from the 1950s, when there was a big shortage of houses and estates like this were created. So if we find a parking spot, then I'll get out of the car and show you more of the area. So Emily, you should really have told me where the house is, then I would have been able to do it in more detail. But what I'll do is I'll go on the verge there and pan around so that you get an idea. So I'm out of the car now, viewers. That's the journey that we've made. And quite a while ago there used to be houses here, but they've been demolished. But by the looks of it, some newer houses are going to be built over there. Okay, so these are the houses that are here, Emily, and hopefully you will have relatives that will be able to tell you where your great-grandma's house used to be. So this road, of course, goes back to where we've come from, which is the carriageway there. And in the background, of course, is Queensbury, and that's where we were when we were doing the ski slope. It's actually on the other side of that slope. Okay, so we're going to go get back into the car now, viewers, and try and find Club Lane. So we're back on the move now, viewers, so I'll keep panning around so that you get a closer view of the houses. So we will do a right at the top of this road. That is still Ovenden. But if we were to go straight ahead, that would take us to an area known as Mixenden, and also back into town. So this is called Denfield Lane, and I think Club Lane is the next right from here. A bit further. So what I'll do is I'll get out of the car and point out all the different areas to you. Emily, I don't know where your great-grandma worked, but I know where I worked, and I know where my dad worked, which was the creamery, and I shall point those out for you. So we're on Club Lane now, viewers. This is a one-way system, and it'll take us, sorry, if we were to go to the end, it'll take us onto the main road again, which is the A629. So when we find a parking spot, which is further down, I think, so this, Emily, is the United Biscuits complex, as it used to be, or Meredith and Drew in your great-grandma's time. So it hasn't really changed from when I remember it. I think there's new cladding there, but this car park is exactly the same. So I'm just going to go back onto Club Lane so that you get a measure of how big the complex is. So it's now known as the Calderdale Business Park, and there's so many different businesses here now. Okay, so if I go across, so as you can see, it extends down to there where that white van is, and on this side is the place, this very first building actually, after these houses. This is where the creamery used to be, and my dear old dad used to work here. So they produced basically all the raw materials, such as the jam and the cream were produced on this side, and the biscuits were produced on the other side. So I'll try and show you that. Okay, so obviously it's somewhere that's private, and I don't think I'll be allowed to film, so I'll just stay on the main road. I've just stopped a little bit further down so that again you get an idea of how big the complex is. So it's down there, all the way up here, and there's the car park. And I do recall that that building down there used to be a lab, and a friend of mine, Rizwan, had a summer job there. So Rizwan, if you are watching, that's where you used to work. Okay, so I'm going to carry on down there, viewers. So this is the other end of the complex, viewers, and we used to call this the dispatch area. So as you can see at the back, there's a large building on its own. That was a warehouse for, and it stored all of the biscuits in boxes actually. And then behind these buildings there were various production lines, such as custard creams and jammy dodgers. Okay, so if I just span across again, show you the area from here. So down at the bottom is the road that we're going to go on, A629, and that of course takes us back into town. If we were to turn left, that would be Illingworth, and sorry, to start off with, it's Ovenden and then Illingworth, and ultimately it leads to Keighley. Okay, I'll span once more, and of course this is Club Lane. Okay, so I'm going to get back into the car now, and we shall make our journey back to the railway station. We're on the move once more, viewers, along Club Lane. And the other thing that I should have pointed out, a number of period buildings. There used to be a lot of cottages, of course, around here serving the wool industry. So ahead of us you can see a brand new school, Moorside. I do think there was a fire here a long time, and the school burnt down, and then thankfully this new one was built. Okay, so we're back on the A629, or Ovenden Way as I call it, and we're going to be making our way back to the railway station. So this is still Ovenden, but to the left of us, where those houses are, I know is the Homefield area. We turned left after the carriageway, but we could also have come along this road and turned left here. So as you can see, the wonderful view of Queensbury in the distance there. So along the A629, if we were to go down this next left, that would take us past Dean Clough, the back end as we call it. Obviously it's an original path. So as you can see along the way, there's some wonderful period buildings. That used to be a manor house. I hope I was quick enough to point it out. So we're approaching the carriageway once again, viewers, and I'm sure you'll be able to recognise where we turned left. So this is the start of Ovenden. So as you can see, there are signs for Lee Mount, which is up there, and we turned left just at that junction there. So we're on the carriageway now, viewers. To the left of us, you should be able to make out that it's Dean Clough. Okay, but of course there's a lot of shrubbery in the way, so everything to the left of us is Dean Clough. I'll point in that direction. As you can see, this is all Dean Clough. The area above at the top of this is actually the top of Pelham Lane, and that looks down on this valley. Dean Clough, and of course behind it the flats of Booth Town. So we're approaching the Orange Street roundabout. So as I've mentioned in previous videos, viewers, there used to be a lot of population here back in the 50s and 60s, and it was all demolished for the purposes of this carriageway. So we're heading back towards town, viewers. And make our way back to the railway station. So ahead you can see town. I think that street is called Waterhouse Street, and of course this lane, then it becomes Commercial Street, where all the banks are of Halifax. As is that first building there. In my time it used to be called Yorkshire Bank. I think it's a more modern bank now. So this is the Broad Street Plaza, and to the left of us is the town hall, and as you can see there, signposted are the other areas. So you get a bit of a clearer view of the demolished bus station. So we're on to Winding Road now, viewers, and not far from the railway station, of course. Okay, viewers, we're nearly approaching the railway station. This gives me a chance to thank you for watching. Please keep watching, please watch fully, please hit that subscribe button, tell all your friends about the channel. Until the next time, I say a goodbye. Look after yourselves, look after others. We are going to go into the railway station and bid you farewell from there. In the meantime, I'll show you the scenery that's out here. So अपना ख्याल रखना, दूसरों का ख्याल रखना, दुआओं में याद रखना। अल्लाह हाफिज।